Okay, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 10, the big 10. And it's been a very long time. I am live streaming right now, of course, at the same time while I'm recording. And it's probably taking a little tax on my camera and audio. But if I'm having any problems, please let me know in the chat. But anyways, moving on. So if you didn't know me by now, my name is Preston Blake, and with me I have my co-host, as always, the Fire Team, Destiny Guardian. What are you, Titan right now, currently?
Warlock,
the main
always.
Warlock, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Warlock, one and only, Steven, thanks for joining again. I appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's a nice Saturday, breezy night. You know, the weather is not a people's person these days, and it is what it is. Winter is like my favorite time of the year anyways.
Yeah,
But,
I do enjoy the cold myself.
Yeah.
And so does my PC and electronics.
Exactly. Minus the heat. The heat is something. I said the heat. There's snow. Minus the snow. I'm not too fond of that. But just give me 1 sec for a sound check real quick. Testing. All right, it's good. Say something real quick. Sorry.
Testing. 1 2 1 2.
Okay. What up, guys? Oh, you're good. You're perfect on there. Hold on. What the hell? So what I'm seeing is probably not as choppy as it is on the stream. Interesting. Okay. I'm still new, guys. Bear with me with this one. Yeah, my camera's still a little choppy, but it is what it is. So yeah. Before we move on with what the main topic of our videos today, which is the game of the year stuff, I'd like to first of all thank you guys for pushing me up to over 1,000 views on my last video. It's our first video to hit that much, and the amount of time especially that it did on this channel. And if you guys don't know what video I'm talking about, I am referring to the Star Citizen video I made, the reality of Star Citizen. And of course, that is my voice in the video. No modularity stuff going on there. The reality of Star Citizen is me. But yeah, anyways, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for that one. I think it started at 100 views the second night, and the third night it got up to 800 or something views, and then it broke 1,000. It crawled to 1,000. On this last little thing. Now it's over 1,000. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you guys for that. I put a good amount of time into that, and it motivates me to continue making more. And as me and Steven discuss, I think so we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna try to look into doing a beauty of series or whatever the title I may call it for different games besides Star Citizen. So I want to thank you for that. But yeah, moving on to the main topic today. We are at the end of 2022, and it is Game of the Year award shows coming out. What date is that? December? What is it? Next week?
14th, I think.
14th. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's coming out pretty soon, and we see the nominations already so far, and they're pretty. I mean, it's pretty predictable. But yeah. So, first things first. The big elephant in the room, which is on the thumbnail as you see in the middle, Kratos from God of War. Me and Steve had a chance to finish that. Of course, he finished before I did. I kind of like did what I did with my last 1,000 views in the video. I crawled to the finish line a little bit, and I managed to finish. I don't remember how many hours I spent on it though, but it was probably over. It was definitely over 30-ish hours. I don't think it was 40, but whatever. So let's start off with you. What exactly after you got over the honeymoon phase, as we discussed off air, what exactly is the feeling you have for this game now? First of all, winning, do you think it's going to beat Elden Ring? That's the biggest question. Do you think it's going to beat Elden Ring besides your personal feelings towards it? Do you think it's going to win Game of the Year at the VGAs?
Well, I think that's a matter of faith, I suppose. But I believe that it should. It's the Elden Ring spec'd all of its greatness into like gameplay and like setting, but those are only like a few aspects of what a great game can be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, God of War has solid gameplay. It's solid. Is it as good as Elden Ring? Maybe not. You could argue that point, but God of War is the whole package. It's the masterclass storytelling, the way cutscenes are shot, how it all flows, the flow of the game. I mean, you could argue that the settings in Elden Ring 2, as far as like the scenery, might be better.
Mhm.
But I mean, God of War has some good scenery too, So I just think God of War has the full package, and it should win. Will it? I don't know, but I hope it does, because it definitely deserves that. I think.
I hear you.
It's a masterclass of a game. It's a masterpiece, and 2018 and Ragnarok, I think they're truly like my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
You can count on one hand
It's
how
a
many
big,
games are that good.
it's a big claim. Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I don't have any horse in this race at the end of the day now between Elden Ring and God of War. I have to beat Elden Ring. I know when we discussed while I was playing Elden Ring, how the game I still had Elden Ring on top for me as far as I mean, I guess you know what? Let me switch off the personal opinion at the moment. At the end of the day, I think, objectively speaking, going off of what you said, I think Elden Ring, I think it's going to be really, really close. And I think Elden Ring, if they do win, I personally think Elden Ring is going to win. But I think if they do win, it's going to win off of a pinch, possibly. I don't know. I can't say, because Elden Ring took over half of the year. Like a good amount of the year when it did come out. God of War is fresh. It's still very fresh in people's heads, and they just came off of it. If not, they probably didn't finish it yet. But it's definitely probably have a lot of people in honeymoon phases. So without it selling in their heads, they might go off of that impulse and just vote for that, either while they're playing it or if they beat it already. So there goes that, going for it. But I don't know for a fact if I think Elden Ring might win by a pinch. That's what I'm gonna say for that. Now, personally, I mean, since you already said for yourself, obviously you think it's gonna win. Plus, it's your personal game. For you. I personally think Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring should get it, but at the end of the day, for different reasons than why God of War I think should get it. And let me explain that. Elden Ring has my reasons why I think Elden Ring should get it for me is because obviously is the exploration. It's very lackluster on storytelling, of course. It's nowhere near God of War when it comes to that because it's two different games. But I think Elden Ring extrapolates that adventurous feeling for me that I had when I first played Zelda on the N64 Ocarina of Time. Like, it just made me want to discover more. And as big as that game is, and it's very, very a lot of things to do on the side besides going through the main story, if you even know what the main story that you're going through is. I think just letting us loose in the field like that, like Breath of the Wild did, and just letting us explore and just pick up the story pieces as we go, was a bigger impact to me than watching a blockbuster movie like God of War. And that's just what I get. This is what kicked off the most dopamine to me between the two games. Like I'm used to watching a lot of really good. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was used to watching a lot of good stories, because it's few and far in between, I believe. But at the end of the day, at least in anime, it's a lot more. But I'm used to witnessing a lot of good stories in different media. But God of War is definitely, I believe, one of the, if not the top medium of storytelling in a video game, in a single video game right now. I could easily say Metal Gear Solid is still, as confusing as it may come off. I feel like Metal Gear got it when it comes to storytelling to me in general, over time. But God of War is a single video game, especially, well, Ragnarok especially. I think no other video game is touching when it comes to storytelling in a sitting, and I think it has that on its shoulders for me personally, to literally be right behind Elden Ring when it comes to that. But I just get more out of Elden Ring as in my personal take when it comes to just exploring in video games. It's just a different medium for me that I didn't know I was gonna get so far into, because I'm not even a Souls fan like that, even though I played a couple of them and I beat 3 and whatever. But Elden Ring just took me by surprise, and I think is that exploration along with the surprise, along with the X factor of the unknown that I didn't know I was going to be into so much. So that's my explanation as to why I think Elden Ring, for me personally, should win. But objectively speaking, I really think Elden Ring has it in his has a little more influence in this race over God of War. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. I really can't tell which one of the games are going to win. And I know I'm Xing out the other nominations here. We didn't even mention Horizon Horizon Forbidden West for one, which I personally enjoyed a lot too. But yeah, these other nominations are not touching these two games to me. So that's why I wasn't even worth talking about.
Elden Ring and God of War are on another plane of existence. It is what it is, even Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Stray. I mean, I didn't get a chance to play Stray, but I mean, and Plague Tale 2 is nominated. I played that, and that was good, but they just don't compare. I mean, also Elden Ring is. I mean, God of War and Elden Ring are two very different games, geared towards different types of gamers too. Even so, yeah, I think it's a matter of like what gamer is going to get out there to vote. Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, these are tallied by votes. So I mean, I know for me, I never cared enough to actually make an account to like cast my vote for something, but God of War actually made me do that. I was like, I need to be able to do this for God of War. That's how good it is. I don't know. I mean, my hype has come down since I beat it. But I'm still like raring to go for like another playthrough. I'm just waiting on the new game plus, and it's rare for me to feel that way about games. Like usually if I'm done with it, I'm done with it. And that's how it was with Elden Ring. Like it was the first From Software game that I completed, and it felt great. It was a good accomplishment, because the game wasn't easy by any means. But the DLC didn't come out for it yet either. I mean, that would have been nice to have in the middle of the year.
Yeah, that's
But
taking a bit
I mean,
long. But did they announce what exactly is the DLC that's coming out for it?
I haven't heard like anything solid. It's still like very much a mystery, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me it's like, after a month I was like I wanted to replay it again but not hearing any news on the DLC, it's just like, I'm over it. I don't really care anymore. Like like I don't have that feeling at all with God of War. Like it's I don't know, and it is just the level of detail in God of War
Yeah.
is astounding. It's absolutely astounding, the level of detail that they went through. Like, I don't know. I guess we're doing spoilers here to
Um.
discuss, or
No. No, since that's very fresh. I thought about it, but I think if we were to do spoilers, I think we should save it for a different video if we get to that video. Just solely on God of War's story. But
all
thanks for
right.
asking.
So,
Yeah.
um, there are just things that you just don't catch. I know they had like an episode of with the director. So was it IGN? Some people from IGN. They had like
The
an
director
episode with
made
the
his
director
Yeah, the director made
or
his
something.
tour going around different platforms talking about it.
Yeah,
And I watched it too.
and yeah. So he pointed out different instances of that, and there's some that I caught, and there's some that I missed, and like seeing the ones that I missed, I'm just like, I can't believe I missed that. Like it's some things are so minute, but the the realization of it is
Yeah.
so like big. You know what I mean? It's like wow. For them to be able to like fit that in there, and be so subtle, like it doesn't get any better than that. I don't know. I'm big into story. I think it matters a lot. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, Without the incredible story between like what is happening in the overworld with all the characters and between Kratos and Atreus, his father and son, like it would just be a mediocre game without like those elements in those characters, like there are just moments that hit you like a freight train, like if you're invested, right, and into Kratos, into Atreus, and like hearing like those conversations and the events that unfold and how they respond, and it's just
Yeah, the game has
it's a
plenty of
masterpiece.
dialogue. Plenty of dialogue and really good
Yeah,
ones. It's not even like for nothing like a lot of games a couple games do. But no, it's definitely really good. I guess the dialogue part remind me in a very loose way of Portal 2 of Wheatley, because they do talk. They have a lot of dialogue and they talk a lot, but it's very good dialogue. It keeps you into the loop, in the story and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, this game is
There
just
isn't
it's like
anything wasted.
yeah,
Yeah,
no time wasted at
there's
all when it comes to when they talk. But
yeah, no wasted dialogue. Everything has a purpose, and it's all interesting. Because even if it's just like a mere bantering about or making a joke or telling a story, it's like it's all like it all matters. It's all connected into your experience. There's because there's like filler dialogue that obviously you can't really get away from, but like there
yeah,
really isn't that much of that at all. It's just everything. It's just I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's just there's just a difference when you have writers who know what they're doing and they have a vision. You can put it to pen to paper like that, and
yeah.
there's nothing like it.
No, not at the current moment, at least. They hit the peak of storytelling off cutscenes. when it comes, I guess comparable to like graphic novels at this point. Like it really is that good. And besides all the praising we're doing for the game, let's go over like I'm not gonna stay in the game too long, but let's go over what you don't like about the games, if you have any dislikes.
I wouldn't call them dislikes. Maybe more like criticisms. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get into the exact like details of the criticisms as far as like without spoiling anything,
Yeah.
because it takes place in story heavy part of the game, but like well, I can't really explain it without spoiling like something, right? um you know you don't just play as like Kratos, I'll say it like that.
Hmm.
Because in 2018 you're only able to play as Kratos, right? So I mean there's a part where you're not Kratos and it just went on for too long, or just it was just it was just too long. And when I got to the end of that portion, like I was like a little bit fatigued. I was like, I'm just trying to be Kratos right now. Like,
I think I have an
what am I
idea of
doing?
what
You
I
know?
think I have an idea of what you're talking about, because that was the only little gripe I had with this game. Just a little. It really didn't affect the game in a negative way to me, to be honest. Overall, at
Yeah.
least. But
And
it's the pacing. The pacing is what I had a little problem with. It kind of dragged certain parts of the game, very little, not a lot. Very little parts of the game kind of dragged out more. It stayed longer than it should have to me. And granted, you're getting that storytelling there within these parts that is valid. Don't get me wrong. But certain objectives within these parts when we were playing, even as Kratos to me, it just didn't. I just didn't feel like it needed to be that long. And I feel like just the very little parts of this game needed, I guess, a little after the beginning, towards the middle, were kind of dragging his feet a little bit.
yeah,
But
I could see that too. And
yeah,
I sort of, because I know like their goal, like they didn't want to make 3 games, and that was clear. It's a lot to condense like the rest of the story into like one iteration, even though like I think what would have worked out best for them maybe would have been to put like the end of the game into like a DLC add-on maybe. And that might be a little bit controversial.
Mhm.
I don't
think
know,
they just need
like,
to cut it. I think they just need to cut fat. It was just the little parts they could have cut fat on, and they still could have had the whole story in it. Honestly, it was. Yeah,
I think it could have been like if they had that extra room, or if they had decided to even make a longer game, not even have DLC, right? Just make a longer game. I think they could have they would have benefited from that, because maybe they could have fixed some of those pacing issues with a longer experience, maybe an
Yeah.
extra 10 hours, of a pure story. I think it could have benefited from that.
Yeah, they left certain things untouched. I won't say without spoiling it, but there's few things they left untouched. I wasn't clamoring for it too much. Like, certain stories don't finish certain side plots all the way. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to say side plots, because it really was intuitive with it really was connected with the main plot. But for the characters that they didn't finish the story for, I'm gonna say that. For this game, I didn't really get that feeling of need more than I wanted the story, more than I wanted the game just to end. In a nice way. Which it did for me. Because normally another game that would, if another game tried what they did in this game, and didn't have the story as up to par like this game had, I probably would want more closure for the other characters. But this one, I didn't really. They left it up in the open for they left it open for our imagination to take over after we ended it for certain characters, and then it is what it is. If it's up to our interpretation of what's going on, or they're gonna make another game following the story, which who knows at this point, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I didn't really care too much that this top kept spinning for these certain characters, and it never stopped spinning for me. Like it didn't. I didn't feel like it needed to drop for these characters, because the story, the main plot that we did get, and they did close, or yeah, they did kind of finish, was enough for me to like be satisfied. Like I didn't. I didn't. I was satisfied, man, all the way. Even with the unfinished plot for the other character. I can't say unfinished. It was just more. It opened up more. That's all. It just opened up more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other character did get his closure, but it just opened a little more up for interpretation as to what's going to happen next. That's all.
Yeah, I think they definitely plan on making another game. Should they? I'm okay with, like, all great things must end. So I don't want them to like make another game and then just have it not be as good as the last two. And it's like, quit while you're ahead. But I'm not the biggest risk taker, so I mean, they could knock it out of the park for a third time, but I mean, that's kind of hard to do.
I wouldn't even usually another game, not with this story. But if they do make another one that's based off of the universe, try to make it as far apart as possible when it comes to the character you play as. I want this story honestly, I can't even say that because I don't want to spoil it. But you know what? I'll stop there with this game. Like, if they're gonna make another God of War, don't do a part 3. Do a different one in that universe, if that makes any sense, because this one was like part 2 to God of War 2018's part 1 completely. Even though a couple years has passed, it felt very, very like the story was continuing. There was no closing on 2018's with this one, at least. So
it needs to be its own thing.
Yes, have it be its own thing. And that's what it looks like they're setting up for. But we'll wait and see, whenever that day comes, if it does come. But I'm all for it, as long as it's away from this story that they completely, without even being a trilogy, succeeded on closing. And I really did appreciate I appreciated this game being twice as long as the first one, and doing what it had to do to close up most of the plot, the plot holes and stuff. So I enjoyed it though. But yeah, Ragnarok, guys, if you haven't played it yet, play it. Go out there, finish it if you started already, because it's gonna get very let's just say March Madness is coming in January, February next year, and there's a lot more big games coming out. So
it's a stacked February next year, and you won't have lived without experiencing God of War Ragnarok. So
exactly. I mean, you can play it anytime. It's gonna be nice whenever you do play it, but yeah, you don't want to hold off too much on it. But speaking about the other games that there was mostly pushed next year anyways, because a lot of these games that's coming out next year was delayed, like Forspoken. But let's talk about the other real quick. I know we spent a lot of time on God of War, but let's talk about the other nominations for Game of the Year right now. See, we have a Plague Tale Requiem, which I haven't finished yet, and I'm still playing. We have Horizon Forbidden West, which you briefly touched on, and I really don't have too much to say about that besides it being an excellent open world adventure game with story. Just take what you know from Elden Ring and God of War and mash it into one, and you can kind of see that it's not the best combination when you do these to certain games, because one game is better than the other in storytelling, one game is better than the other in exploring, but they're both different games. But certain games, when you mix, it doesn't come out to be like, you know, the best game on top or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's what Horizon Forbidden West has. It has a storytelling, a lot of cutscenes, and it has a lot of open ended areas that you can explore and do side missions on as well.
Yeah, the way I see that is it's amplified. It's amplified the good parts of the first game, and
Yeah,
it's amplified the bad parts of the first game. That's kind of how I see it.
I agree 100% with you.
And with that comes amplified, I'm tired of this, or this is great. So
Yeah, I agree with you.
I can only hope the third game cuts back on all the bloat. It's just too much.
We'll see. I think they have been getting better though. This one is far better than the first game to me. In many ways, if not all the ways.
Yeah, it's an enhanced experience.
Yes,
Even the story and the events and the characters, and it's better in all those ways. It's just I don't need 14 weapons, and I don't need 20 different types of ammo.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Something I don't need.
That's what I was gonna get to.
It was very annoying.
they enhanced in almost every way of the first game, but they added too much on top of that. And certain things didn't need to be there when it comes to gameplay mechanics. It really didn't. Gameplay mechanics, because you didn't have to craft on the fly the way they made you do it, and certain things that didn't need to be crafted at all. But yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. That's definitely the ultimate problem with the game. But overall, if I had to give the game a score, I'd give it a 8 out of 10. Or 7.5 minimum, but I'll give it 8 out of 10 if I had to give it a score, because I really did enjoy that game. The way I played it, like I told you before, I played it like I'm sipping fine wine. Like I played it in little increments here and there, and I slowly crawled throughout the game, and I enjoyed it in that way. If I played it a lot and finished it all at once in a very short amount of time, maybe I would have felt differently, but I played it in little ways because I was playing other games at the same time. So I enjoyed more of it because of that. And I don't know how I would have felt if I played a lot of it and probably felt the fatigue at certain times, but yeah. So that's the nomination, along with Stray, the cat game. Of course, we all know what Stray is, and I haven't finished that either when I started that. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Okay, so Xenoblade, I finished. I know you haven't finished yet. Xenoblade. Go ahead.
I mean, I never got into Xenoblade, so this is my first Xenoblade game. It's a good game. I think I haven't finished it just because it's more of like a console issue for me than it is like the game, right? I mean, I'm on PC, I'm on PlayStation, Xbox, jumping around different games. Like, I neglect the Switch a lot. So it's sort of like, if I'm playing the Switch, I'm like, all right, I gotta. If I'm feeling it, it's like, all right, let me do this, and let me get to this game, and before I feel like that urge to just not want to play the Switch.
Yeah.
It has more to do with it than the game itself. It's a JRPG, so I mean, there's a lot to do, a lot to see. It's a solid game. I need to get that excitement back for it to pick it back up.
I got you.
I don't know when that's gonna come yet, but I do want to finish it, and I enjoy the story so far. So.
All I'm gonna say about this, since I think I touched on this on the last podcast, is after finishing the story, at least, because I don't know if I finished it before the last podcast out. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Phenomenal story, great, hands down one of my best RPGs I've played in general. When it comes to storytelling and gameplay, and it's on the Switch, so the Switch shooting out these muscular fortitude games, if you will, because at the end of the day, they're flexing. They're all flexing, and for a small, outdated now compared to other hardware we got like the Steam Deck. For small, outdated hardware, they're flexing, and they still got more to come with the Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda Breath of the Wild game coming out as well. And I think Bayonetta 3 was another one that was really, really good that I finished as well, that I enjoyed. But yeah,
new Zelda, it'll bring me back to the Switch for sure.
Oh, it's gonna bring back everybody on the Switch if it doesn't come out. If they don't come out a new Switch by then. With all these rumors talking about a new Switch. But yeah, I'm trying to look for the other one. Sorry. Moving on. Yeah, that was the last one. So yeah, Stray, Xenoblade, A Plague Tale Requiem, and Horizon Forbidden West. All right, so those are the other 3 games competing with Elden Ring and God of War, which is why, as you can see, we spent over 30 minutes talking about one of them and didn't really talk about the others.
Oh, it's worth it. To me, it was worth it. I go on for a lot longer.
Oh yeah, it deserves its own podcast. We know this. It deserves its own podcast. But all I can say, wrapping up the game of the year stuff, because I do want to move on to the stuff we're actually currently playing or going to play, is A Plague Tale. I didn't finish it. I know you finished it. Did you? You did finish it, right?
I finished it.
What did you think? Go ahead.
I say it ran a lot better for me on the computer once I got it on the PC.
Yeah, I think they fixed the Xbox up anyways. They noticed when you left. It's like, man, all right, he's gone. All right, guys, pull the patch out. Right. Pull the patch out. Hurry up. But no, yeah. So after you finishing it, do you feel like it belonged in this Game of the Year nominees category? Do you feel like it should have been another game that should have took its place in this? And I know Stray is the oddball here as well, but ignore Stray. Just this game in general, out of the games you played this year, you think it deserved this spot?
I think so. I mean, looking at the Game of the Year list, there isn't any other game that's really kind of coming to mind for this year. So I think it should be up there. It's a solid story. I enjoyed the story. I enjoy the mix of like historical accuracy and like fantasy, alchemy elements, to the story. I think it's a good mix. And there were other improvements to like the mechanics of the gameplay, more items that you could craft to make different types of ammo for dealing with the rats and the fire and all that. So it's a solid improvement.
Okay.
And the ending definitely has me questioning where the third game's going to go. And I think if they get it right, it's going to be really good, but if they get it wrong, it's not going to be so good.
I hear you. Well, I hadn't finished the game, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a shame because Elden Ring and God of War came out this year. That's all.
I was saying the same thing about Horizon Forbidden West. It's a shame. It's the second time that a Horizon game came out and got debunked by the game that literally came out after it. The first one got debunked by Breath of the Wild out of all freaking games, and now Elden Ring out of all games. And ironically, these are the most two top games of all time considered now in the gaming space. So it's crazy why Horizon keeps picking these dates and looking at these games that they're doubting is gonna overshadow. But yeah, it sucks. I think Horizon should have came out a little bit on its own. Like at least away from a game of all time game. Like stop coming out next to these games that's gonna get game like best game of all time. Like that's like coming out next to Skyrim. Like don't do that. Like but easier said than done,
They had advance warning because they knew 2018 won Game of the Year. and they had advance warning. Come out the year after or come out before.
Dude, I don't know what to say. It really is a shame, a crying shame for the studio. Guerrilla Games can't catch a break when it comes to that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game sold. The game sold numbers, but it could have been a lot bigger if they wasn't right next door to the humongous, game of all time contender. Like, it's just like, damn, man, can't catch a break. But hey,
if they had made different changes to Forbidden West as far as like, slimming down the weapons, like if they had improved on all the things that were bad about the game, I probably would put it up above Elden Ring. But that's just me personally, because
you like more story.
I think story matters more than most other things to me. So
I get that.
I mean, I probably would have put it above Elden Ring had it been like a more solid improvement. But it's a shame that Elden Ring didn't have more of a story, because it would be a harder decision for me, I think. But
yeah, I hear you, man. We'll see what happens next with Guerrilla Games. What they do next. Hopefully, they just pick a better date,
a better release here.
These juggernauts. Yeah. They just gotta have some time. Hire an analyst. A release date analyst. I don't know what they would call them. I don't know if there's even a position that exists, but make it exist, man, because you guys need it. You really do need somebody to like overlook your release dates, man. But yeah, the game is great, and I think it definitely deserves the top, at least this spot on the Game of the Year nominees. It just sucks that it's going against two of the craziest games up there. But moving on from the Game of the Year stuff, we got like 50 minutes already in there. I want to talk about what we're playing at the moment. So starting with you, what current game are you playing at the very moment?
So I'm actually playing Persona 4 Golden.
On the Steam Deck, right?
Yeah, I switched between the deck and PC. Yeah, there was a good sale on Persona 5 recently, so then I figured, I should play the one before it. I also didn't realize how old of a game it actually is. It's like a PS2 era, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So,
it's the golden
didn't
age.
realize that, but it's a really good game. Like, I was kind of surprised, and it's a good break from, I think, just like the types of games that I've been playing recently. It's sort of like, and it's also like playing an anime, in a sense.
Yeah. It is a slice of life game.
Yeah, it's like slice of life with like, sci-fi mystery, like fantasy a little bit, maybe not like sci-fi so much, but
yeah,
like I think it's sort of like a Final Fantasy game without the high fantasy, in a sense, turn-based combat and whatnot. Yeah, I'm almost done with it. It's solid. I mean, I'm sort of feeling a little bit of fatigue from it, but because I've been hitting it really hard. But
okay.
I enjoy all the characters though, and I kind of wish that Persona 5 was an actual sequel to the lives of everyone in the game. But
yeah, they're all sequels in their own way without being a sequel to the plot that you're playing. But it's a sequel in the universe, I guess. But yeah, it's a Steam Deck. I'm on and off on Steam Deck as well, but Persona 5 is like the game I'm on and off on the Steam Deck. Not that I haven't played the PS4 version, but I haven't beaten any of them anyways, or any versions of Persona 5 yet. But I keep getting them because I like them, and it's a bad habit. I wouldn't put that on anybody else. Don't do what I'm doing, kids. If you're even watching. I don't think my audience is kids anyways. But yeah, moving on. The Is that the only game you're focusing on right now, or you just
Uh, yeah, well, I just
switching?
picked up Callisto Protocol, so I'll probably try that out tonight.
Okay.
I got a little bit excited for that, so I got that on Xbox. So
Safe choice.
go try that out. And yeah, nothing else besides that at the moment, I don't think. So
Okay. Yeah, Callisto. I'm currently playing along, switching up between Need for Speed Unbound, which is pretty good. What was the third game I said I was playing?
Call of Duty too. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
Here and there.
Yeah, you know, Tier 1 was hardcore mode, and it was on there. Not the whole time, but it was on there last time we were playing. You know, I was complaining about.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's called Tier 1. I don't know why they changed the name. But yeah, I played a couple of matches. Just exactly what I remembered, if not better. So I'm enjoying that too. I didn't finish the story yet. Of course, I know you finished the story, but not trying to talk too much about Call of Duty. Not that there's much to talk about Call of Duty. It's a good game. It's not the Call of Duty, but this one is better than the last two Call of Duties to me. After the two Call of Duties that came out after Modern Warfare 2018. But yeah, I'm still thinking what the hell's that third game I was switching. I guess Marvel Midnight Suns. I didn't dive in that much. I just made my character into like the first mission, just trying it out, and it looks phenomenal on the ultra wide. Thankfully, it's ultra wide supported natively. But yeah, main game I'm playing right now is Callisto Protocol, and just like that I got one blank. Callisto Protocol, and Need for Speed. Those are the two games I'm mostly playing. Yeah, I know I have a lot of games in my play. I gotta like kind of narrow down my focus a little bit if I want to finish one. Mainly Callisto, I guess, because Callisto I feel like I'm halfway through already. Callisto. Now let me address that game's issue. Well, past issue. It still has some current issues, but the main issue why I was getting what do you call it? The review bombed on Steam.
Yeah.
Obviously, day one the game came out with horrible stuttering issues with the optimization with the shader compiling, just for PC, and I've witnessed it as well. I have a 3090, 10700 Intel, and it was like I was getting good frames, but never consistently. So it was definitely a lot of stutter. And I think that same night when I was playing it, I think it was last night. Was it last night or the night before? When we had a text, it was last night. They came out with a patch at 11 o'clock I got 11 p.m. and it fixed everything for me when it comes to the stuttering. Like I think I only seen like one stutter. And I streamed it last night, and I stayed on for an extra 2 hours after they fixed it. I'm like, wow, this changes a lot. These reviews didn't have to be out this way. They just communicated, like I told you off stream, to the reviewers that they gave these games keys to a day or whatever before, not even a whole week for a lot of them. They only had like a day or two to play it and finish it before the embargo lifted. But if they just communicated to these guys that, right now I know it's a lot of problems with stuttering and so, there's a day one patch coming out that's going to fix all this. It came out that night, but it still could have fixed all that, and it would have changed the reviews, and it wouldn't be review bombed and all that stuff. So they could have avoided all of this bad press if they just communicated that. I think, in my opinion, I'm not a manager for any company or whatever, but I think it could have been a lot better than what it got. The press that it got in the beginning. So with that being said, even though the stutterings and all that stuff is gone, I'm running mine to 80 to 120 frames without ray tracing. The ray tracing has to be optimized a bit more. It is kind of broken, along with the FSR option that's in the game as well. It's broke. It's not optimizing nothing. Like I get like probably plus 3 frames when I get it on quality or balance. So that in HDR, you know, the HDR. I can't say enough about this game. It really is needed. If you have an HDR monitor and you're playing an HDR, this game is a lot. You know, it's a dark horror sci-fi game. At the end of the day, I think any dark game like Resident Evil or whatever needs heavily benefits HDR. I'm not gonna say needs, but if you have it, it shouldn't be broken in a game like this. At this point, it shouldn't even be an option in the game if it's this broken. If it's broken, it's flat out broken. There's nothing you can do about it. I have to turn HDR off just to have my blacks look actual black in the game. But at the end of the day, I'm nitpicking for the audience that's tech savvy out there with computers and stuff. But in the console, you're fine. Don't worry about it. The console has a slight fix when it comes to OLEDs. It's not all perfect with HDR on the console, but you can look it up on YouTube. It has like certain options you could fix on the LG C1 if you have it, or whatever OLED TV you have. But yeah, the game itself is fun. I'm enjoying it right now. I'm getting to a point in the game where I'm 5 hours in and I'm not getting as scared as I was in the beginning, because I'm getting more powerful and getting more weapons, and the gameplay is really fun so far. I don't know how I'm gonna feel the next couple hours. I don't know how long the game is gonna take for me to finish. I may feel some fatigue like some reviewers are saying. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I'm enjoying it right now, and it is what it is when it comes to the gameplay. I think at the moment where I'm at in the game, I don't think it's gonna get any better besides just having more weapons, I guess. But I guess it could, yeah, I guess it can get it better when I get more weapons. But I'm enjoying the melee and the dodge mechanics in the game. And last but not least, the graphics. The graphics is insane. I've never seen. Alright, I'm not gonna say I've never seen a horror game that looks just like this. That's a lie. Resident Evil Village was probably the only closest horror game that looks this good. That's up to date, at least. But this game is up there with God of War when it comes to graphics, if not better when it comes to faces. Like this, the mocap they did in this game, the actors they picked, you know, Josh Duhamel, from pronounce his last name right, and Sam Witwer, or whatever his name is, from Star Killer from Star Wars. It's really, really like on point. Like I'm very impressed with the graphics in this game. And yeah, as a graphics whore as I am, I'm think that's what's probably making me just want to go on it more, because the artistic style of the interior of the ships that you're in and the space and stuff like that, and the planet is really, really good. Like, I almost forgot to put the gameplay up, but yeah, the what in the hell's going on? My bad, guys. Anyways, yeah, the game itself is it's a looker. It's a showpiece. I think any screen, any console, I've seen the videos in the console version, it has performance mode and fidelity. Fidelity has ray tracing, 30 frames locked. Performance, of course, 60 without ray tracing, but ray tracing does do a big difference in this game. I think it's definitely they really need to fix it on PC, but it really is it's a looker, man. It's a looker, and I can't wait for you to start it. I haven't beaten it yet, of course, so I won't give any final verdicts on how I feel about the game yet, but so far I'm enjoying the ride. And it's reminding me a lot of like Dead Space 2, since it is the makers of Dead Space, for those of you out there that didn't know. Glenn Schofield, I forgot his last name. Glenn Schofield, I think is his name. The director of Dead Space 1 and 2. And 2 was definitely great, so this is getting me 2 vibes, and I'm enjoying it. But you know, can't say nothing else about it. It really is good so far. Go ahead.
The visuals are like enthralling, you know. So that's definitely an aspect that I'm looking forward to, and that's drawing me into play. That's how good it looks. Yeah, I'm not normally a fan of the genre, but like I'll make an exception for this. And Dead Space was also something I made an exception for, so I'm not really big into all the Resident Evil stuff, but yeah, no, I'm excited to play.
Yeah, I don't know why the gameplay video. It's my first time multi-streaming, guys, and I am engineering my own video streams right now, so let me just cut me some slack on that one for a bit. I have to get used to this. But yeah, the video gameplay I'm showing right now is kind of slow, but I mean it's still clear. As you can see, I'm playing in ultra wide, so it is a native support ultra wide game, which is another big plus on my end because like, as an ultra wide user, we don't get these. We get half baked ultra wides or none at all. So I do appreciate what the studio did for this game with the ultra wide. But other than that, moving on. Last but not least, for now, I guess Need for Speed. Not too much to say about this one yet. I'm currently probably 3-4 hours in. Story is meh. I thought the animated look of the characters was going to get to me a little bit. When it comes to like bothering me, when it comes to the extra effects on the cars and the cartoon, like half cartoon, half realism that the game has. But it actually sparks a little flair of personality, more personality to this game that makes it its own. I'm enjoying it a lot of all aspects. I don't even want to turn the smoke color thing, the animated effects down. You can't turn it down, but you can make it gray if you don't want it to look like it's colorful and stuff like that. But I didn't even want to do that. Like I actually enjoy the way it is. You know, if I want to play something more real, I play Forza. But for a Need for Speed street racing underground game like this, it's I think it fits very well, and they could do without those animated characters. Don't get me wrong; it's not bad, but it could have been a different art direction that was slightly better. I prefer a different art direction than these animated characters, but they're not bothering me at all. Everything looks good. I enjoy the customizations they let you have with the clothes you get to the clothes you get to keep forgetting to switch it. The clothes you get to wear and stuff like that. But the game looks really, really good. HDR is slightly broken a little bit, but I got a fix for that already, so it still looks pretty nice on the ultra wide. But yeah, the game, it runs perfectly so far from what I know, optimization wise on the PC, and I believe it runs at 60 on console. So yeah, it's the first next gen Need for Speed game, and it's I say it's quite up there with Heat, if not better, for me so far. I didn't beat Heat, but I played a lot of it. But yeah, it's yeah, I got nothing else to say on this one. I'm looking forward to continuing, and I just wish it wasn't $70. I'll say that. Because I'm playing the 10-hour trail right now, guys, and it's the full game if you didn't know. But if you have Game Pass, Game Pass has EA Play with it, so you can play the first 10 hours if you have a Game Pass and you don't want to play it. Don't want to buy the game yet. But it's on PC, so I'll get it on sale whenever I choose to. But at the end of the day, it's good.
It'll be a wait for sale for me, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of games going on.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Plus it's a racing game, so it's not like everybody's a cup of tea too much. But I get that. But yeah, any last few mentions when it comes to any other games we didn't talk about?
No, off the top of my head, I guess. I mean, I've just been busy with Persona. I'm gonna try to sprinkle in some Callisto, and I don't know, I was thinking that I might just go like back to back with the Persona games, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
No,
I gotta need a little bit of a break.
I don't think that's possible. One of them is going to suck you in more than the other, and I don't think it's possible. Because once you play Persona 5, I don't think you're going to want to continue playing Persona 4. Not while you're playing Persona 5. That it is a really nice big upgrade from Persona 4.
I'm gonna want to beat Persona 4 first, I think. I had planned on doing them back to back, but like I don't know if I'm gonna do them back to back anymore, just because I didn't think I'd feel as much fatigue with it as I'm feeling now. But I just want to beat it. I'm excited to beat it. I'm trying to get like a certain persona, that's supposed to be one of the best in the game. So I'm like trying to prepare for that as I'm like, going through the days. So
yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Let me know how that Callisto Protocol fares out tonight on the Xbox, and we'll wait to see your impressions on the gameplay. See if you like the gameplay melee mechanics as much as I do. It's not the best thing in the world. It has little things I wish it can change up a little bit when it comes to the reloading while you're trying to dodge the attacks and stuff, but because you get stuck in the animation and you gotta time your stuff right, but even the timing doesn't feel too right because it's kind of sluggish like Red Dead Redemption 2. So it feels like the game is trying to be one thing and do both at the same time, but it's not meshing well together. Certain things that's going on with the mechanics is just the speed isn't matching with what they want you to do somewhat. If you want to switch up a gun and change it and stuff, it's a hassle doing that while trying to do a melee dodge and stuff at the same time. But that's my only little nitpick that I have with it so far. It could be bigger to others, but I'm still enjoying the game so far. But yeah, let's see what happens with that. And yeah, this is the end of the stream. I don't know if I'm going to stream anything else tonight. If I want to go back on Callisto, since the frames are better and it won't be stuttering as much as my camera is right now in this podcast. But yeah, we'll see. Thanks for joining, Steve. I know we did this kind of on the late side of the day.
Yeah.
Normally we get this done in the middle of the day, but this is people got stuff to do, and I got stuff to do. It is what it is. We get it when we get it, pretty much. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining. For the ones that joins live, and for the ones that's gonna watch this later on YouTube, appreciate the viewership. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up and comment below based on what you think I should do next on any type of gameplays or projects you want to see. All open to the criticism and input on what we should do next. But I'm rambling. See you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Peace out.